This is Spreaker Web Radio.
You think you know me, you know me.
From the king city of the Midwest, a place where there are more bars than churches and more cabbies than cops. He's the only one that knows where all this crap comes from and refuses to stop reporting it. A man that has been around the world so much, it was named after him. It's Rob's World! Assisted by the one person who truly knows where Superman's favorite place to be is. It's the one, the only, because everyone else is sleeping. Rob's World Radio Show! Hey, J-Dub's here!
I think you know very well who I am.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Today is January 28th. It is Saturday, I think, 8 o'clock, and it's time for the Rob's World Radio Show.
Knock it off.
I'm here. Like I said, this is Saturday, January 28th. I did a radio show at 4 a.m. this morning because I was alone by myself and bored, and thing I had to do that was legal in the state of Illinois. And I actually said it was January 29th at that time, and we're not going backwards. We're not in the time machine. We don't have
Back to the Future.
Yeah, the dock off Back to the Future in here or nothing. But I'm here with my trusty cohort, J-Dub. How you doing today, J-Dub?
All right, buddy. How you doing?
Oh, they're pretty good. We didn't really prepare too much for the show.
I'll just wing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, wing it. You know what happened the last time I tried to wing it?
I don't know.
I'm going to jail!
It's been known to happen.
Yeah, well, whatever. Well, here we go. We're going to start off with the show. Like I said, today is Saturday. It is January 28th, not the 29th. The Rob's World Radio Show. And you got your new phone today, didn't you?
Yeah, it's kind of a nice little smartphone for people who aren't really all that smart.
Well, now that you have a new phone, you can get on Twitter. And then we're going to make you a Twitter account, so all these fine folks who happen to be listening to the radio show can listen to us, or can go on Twitter. My Twitter is the little @ Real Rob G, and we'll make you up something cool. And on Facebook, you can follow us. Just Facebook.com/Rob's World Radio or Facebook.com/Real Rob G. And J-Dub doesn't have his little letters at the back of it. Just search for look on my page and you'll see the link to his page. So anyhow,
There it is.
So our first story today. Are you going to read anything?
Yeah, probably.
Okay,
will.
start off with this one. It's no name calling day. Now I know how you like to call people.
No
names.
name calling day. Nutty News says students at the school around Massachusetts recognize No Name Calling Day, part of an anti-bullying legislation signed in May of last year, 2010. No Name Calling Day was set by Governor Deval Patrick, as it shows his picture here. He looks like a he looks like a bully to me.
No, it looks like I thought that was Pete right there. He looked like a chipmunk.
Anyway, it says, see, where was we at? It says students are encouraged to wear black as they sign their commitment to black out bullying. Well,
that's kind of a racial slur there.
Yeah, black out the bullying. You know, that sounds mean. Yeah, he does kind of look like a chipmunk there with that.
I thought that was teeth. It does look like a...
Like maybe a tooth.
Maybe he's eating toilet paper or something.
Maybe he's Bob.
Remember that day if he was up there at that one bar and that woman come out of the bathroom trying to act like she's all cool and calm and sexy looking?
Oh, then she had toilet paper on her foot?
Yeah. That was funny.
That was pretty funny.
That was funny. Speaking of bars, speaking of anti-bullying, as many people know, and I said this on the 4 a.m. show, if anybody were having to be listening at 4 a.m.
I doubt it.
My day job is a taxi cab driver.
Which is funny because you work at nighttime.
Yeah, so whatever. And if I can find this here. Anyway, as a taxi, whatever it is I do it well. Well, anyway, the story that happened, it was a relatively slow night, and my last, it's a relative, I'm losing my whatever you call it here. It's a relatively slow night, and until my last call, the dispatcher told me I had a 1:30 time call at a local bar to go pick up. Well, I picked her up. She was drunk and disorderly. Couldn't decide where she wanted to go or what she wanted to do. So we stopped at another bar right along the way that was closed. And while we were there, I got flagged down by a man and a woman that was needing a cab. Now, the next 45 seconds, everything went to hell in a handbasket. The two girls got into a fist fight across the seat, since one of them was in the front of the van and the other was in the back with her husband. All parties involved were extremely intoxicated, except for me, of course.
Well, yeah, of course.
And I quit drinking around midnight.
Yeah.
So anyway, and they're all looking for trouble. Once I finally got them separated, and I had to put myself in between these two females. Now, normally you'd think that would be a nice thing.
Well,
it was not. Not when
usually it would be, but
not when they're drunk and throwing fists.
Yeah, not when they're dropping bows on you.
So anyway, once I finally got separated, I put the girl in the front seat out of the cab. Now, luckily, we was already at her house, but she just refused to get out. So finally, she gets out. Well, then I proceeded to take the other ones home. And when we got to the house, the woman in the back seat says, "You know what? I don't think I should pay for this cab due to all that bullshit earlier." I'm like, well, you know what?
You got to fight.
I explained to her that she, in fact, was the instigator. She's the one that started it, and she's the one that threw the first punch.
No.
Well, the guy in the back seat decides he wants to get involved in this conversation. He becomes heated, and at this point, grabs
you
around the neck.
Try the scruff of the neck.
No, he had me like around the neck,
like in a chokehold.
Yeah. So at this point, I exited his chokehold and the taxi with cat-like swiftness that would even impress Superman.
That's pretty fast.
I got around the cab to his door, opened it, and physically escorted him from the taxi. We scuffled.
You should have whooped his ass.
Well, we scuffled for what seemed like an eternity, but actually it was probably only about 30, 45 seconds, before he finally gave up and gave me my money. He then, with his tail between his legs, walked his drunk ass up to the front door of his house, screaming and whining the whole time about how he was mistreated and manhandled by his cab driver. I tell you what, really, I mean, we didn't fist fight.
No, you should have.
Well, we should have, but then the cops would have probably been involved. I just wanted to get it over with and get him the hell out of there. Kind of like my sex life. Just get it over with and get the hell out of there.
Get in there and get it out.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's what she said.
Talking about name calling. This next story here happened in Atlanta, Georgia. You ever been to Atlanta, Georgia?
No, I think my car has.
Yeah. Y'all got to tell that story real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
We was down, actually, where was we?
No, I don't think it was actually Atlanta, but it was somewhere in Georgia.
No, it wasn't. It was Chattanooga.
Oh, yeah.
We wasn't even in Atlanta. It was in Chattanooga. You were a fucking state away.
Never mind.
Anyway, I'll go ahead and tell the story anyway. I wanted to borrow his car because we was working some daily labor jobs down in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I drove his car all the way to Chattanooga, parked it in one of them parking things where you got to pay. You get in free, but you got to pay to leave. So I got to leave. The guard was gone, but they put a ticket on my car. Said, "Hey, please pay this amount of money, or else." Well, I didn't figure or else really mattered since there was nobody there. So I left, and what happens? He gets a letter in the mail with a ticket. And gets in trouble for it, so that was pretty funny.
Got a little chipmunks in the crowd here.
Excuse me. The bathroom's down the hall.
Down the hall to the left.
So anyway, in Atlanta, Georgia, two teens were arrested on 5th floor of the CNN Center, where they were found checking their Facebook pages.
Well,
Aldanae Fearon, 18, and Francis 17, climbed over a ledge from the Omni Hotel to gain access to the CNN newsroom and started working on 2 computers. At the time of the arrest, they were checking their Facebook pages on those computers. These guys broke into the CNN Center.
Going to jail. I'm going to jail.
Yeah, they broke in there into the CNA Center.
I'm going to jail.
They broke into the CNN Center just to check their Facebook.
See me like that may be like a bullshit story.
Well,
what do you think?
I don't know. I have to check my Facebook and find out.
I don't know.
You want to do this one? This one's right down your alley.
No, I don't know. I'll go to the next one.
Don't read that part.
I'm not going to.
Okay, go ahead.
See, I don't see where it says it at. East Bay.
And East Bay, Dad.
East Bay. Where's that at?
California, right there.
It don't say California.
It says right there, California.
Oh yeah, because that's the part I wasn't supposed to read.
No, you just not read from here over. I'll blue light it there. Don't read that blue light.
This is my first day on the job, guys. East Bay, California, dad claims a game of tag at the playground resulted in his 6-year-old son being accused of sexual assault. Sexual assault, you believe that?
For a 6-year-old? Well, it's in California.
It's California, though. The decision said was overreacted by a school official. The parent who asked not to be identified, says only to be identified as Oswin. That sounds like a alias.
What's that, Lee Harvey Oswald?
I think it is.
The second shooting guy in the library or something?
Said his son was accused.
Lee Harvey Oswald!
Said he's accused of brushing his best friend's leg.
Or groin. There's a difference.
Well, yeah, I guess so. While 2 of them kept playing on the playground at a Lupine Hills Elementary School, Oswin, Lee Harvey Oswin, said his child was kept in the principal's office for 2 hours until he confessed. 2 hours. Now that sounds to me like interrogation. I want to know how come his parents wasn't involved in all that.
I don't know, but it seems kind of funny to me that Lee Harvey Oswald. It said he was brushing his friend's leg or groin while they were playing. Apparently, he just kept brushing it. I mean, there's a difference between
an accidental
like
rub.
Oops, sorry, and woo. Well, hey, it's time for us to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back. I can't do this Lee Harvey Oswald thing.
Congratulations for listening to another great Spreaker-powered show. You're clearly a big fan of podcasts, so why don't you nominate your favourite show for the European Podcast Award? The hunt has begun for Europe's best podcasts, so let us know which shows make you smile. Get over to European-podcast-award.eu and nominate your favourite podcast today. Sorry to interrupt your listening, and thanks to Spreaker.com for letting us in.
Well, we come back to the time for someone to pass gas. Appreciate that. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's always good.
So we left with the 6-year-old that was whacking off his friend.
Lee Harvey Oswald there.
Oh, shoot. It's hard to cheer for a lighthouse. This happened in South Carolina. The lighthouse is out at the North Myrtle Beach Intermediate School.
Oh my God.
Where students soon will be rallying to the name of Braves. The students desperately want to be something other than the lighthouse.
I don't blame him.
The principal, Melissa Spearman, said, the principal has been investigating the lighthouse team only to find out the school's mascot has never been officially changed from its original mascot, the Braves. It's hard to cheer for a lighthouse, said board member Mary Gail Stanland, adding that the principal can design their school philosophy around a good mascot. Now, can you imagine, like...
Go Lighthouse! Go Team Lighthouse!
They remind me of that musical group Lighthouse, man. They sucked.
It'd be a little game,
the Braves, go Braves, you know, who wants to... Yeah, you want to be brave, you know, land of the free, home of the brave and all that stuff, but you don't want to be the lighthouse.
Go Lighthouses.
Go, our lighthouses are so bright, yay!
Yay!
Anyway, what a dummy.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yoo-hoo! This is your story.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Go ahead.
This happens in Canada, guys.
Canada. Terrence and Phillips. Uncle Fucker.
You know Terrence and Phillips, awesome. Well, they have Dwarf Con...
oh, wait, no.
Is there?
Uncle Fucker. Go ahead. Good.
A dwarf tossing contest scheduled in Windsor, Ontario. You know those crazy people in Windsor.
I know. In a bar.
And so, you know they're drinking... It's got a heated controversy, but local authorities said there is no law that prevents it. So who knew that it wasn't against the law to throw people around?
Midgets.
Barry Maroon.
That's like a porno name.
I think it is. Barry Maroon, manager of the, what did I say? Leopard's?
Leopard. It's Leopard.
I think that may be
Leopard's Lounge.
Well, it could be like Leopard shoes out there.
Or Leopard.
Could be.
Leopard. That's what them...
and broil.
Ain't that what them people wear when they do that little dancing with stepping on their tiptoes and leopards?
Yeah, I think so. So he saw no problem with the contest and even claimed that it had been getting calls from the little people anxious to attend. Little people, that's another term for midget, right?
Yeah.
But others agreed with Jamie Danforth of Windsor. The father of a family of 4 dwarves called it ignorance to the highest level. I personally think if it's just like this, it's like girls stripping.
First of all, here's my thing.
If they're getting paid for it, and it's all and
they're willing,
and it's all in good fun, and they're willing to do it, then why? Then who cares?
My thing is, I have nothing against dwarfs, little people, I have nothing against it. I know a couple of people who are. They're fine people.
Right.
But the thing here is, obviously, there's not going to, and I may be wrong for saying this, I don't know that. There might not be a lot of jobs that some of these people could do. But my point is, if they want to do it, they're getting paid. Right. They're doing it voluntarily. And it looks like a hellacious fun time.
Well,
then who cares? Who cares? As long as they're having fun, they're getting paid for it. Who cares?
I mean, as long as they ain't throwing them into, like a
vats of raw sewage
or like a big rocks or something.
That'd be kind of fun.
Might hurt.
Yeah, but I mean, who cares really? Let them do what they want to do. Here's a nutty fact. Did you know this? That racetrack Playa in Death Valley, California, is a particularly parched region of an extraordinary planet. Rocks big and small glide across a mere flat landscape.
I have heard about this.
Leaving behind a tangle of trails. Some rocks travel in pairs. There are two tracks so perfectly in sync along straight stretches around curves that they seem to be made by a car. Others go freewheeling, wandering back and forth, alone, and sometimes traveling the length of several football fields. In many cases, the trails lead right back to the resting rocks, but in others, the joyriders have vanished. And you realize that after I said that story, I really wish I hadn't.
I have heard that story, though.
I've heard that story before, too.
I've heard of it before.
I kind of wish I hadn't done it.
I kind of wish you hadn't either. You should have did that one right there.
I love her.
Is that Fran Drescher?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wait. Well, the nanny claims she was abducted by aliens. I wish the aliens would have
Fran Drescher. Yeah, and Halfway Divorced. Have you seen that show?
No,
I haven't either, but it looks funny.
Says that she and her ex-husband, Peter Mark Jacobson, both...
You said Peter.
I know. Both had a close encounter, I guess probably of the third kind, when they were teenagers. Peter and I both saw aliens before we knew each other. Doing the same thing, driving on the road with our dads. Sounds a little weird. We were both in junior high. A few years later, we met and realized that we had the same experience. I think somehow we were programmed to meet, she says. We both have this car.
Scar.
Huh? Scar? I'd be wick, I never run the weed. It's exactly the same scar on the exact same spot. Who cares?
Well,
we just did that story, and I almost wish that I hadn't done that story.
Well, you can...
I don't even know how to weed, so I don't know what the deal is.
That was Fran Drescher, thank you.
That was... yeah.
Well, do you want to do the joke of the day?
I'll let you do the joke of the day.
Okay, I'll do the joke of the day. Today's joke of the day. After having been served in a Las Vegas cocktail lounge, a real southern gentleman beckoned the waitress back and said quietly, Miss, y'all sure are a lovely, lovely lady. Can I persuade y'all to give me a piece of that ass? Lord! That's the most disrespectful proposition I've ever had. Gasped the girl. Then she looked around the room, smiled, and added, well, sure, why not? You're nice looking, too, and it's a pretty slow night right now, so why don't we just slip away up to my room? When the pair returned half an hour later, the man sat down at the same table, and the waitress asked, will there be anything else, sir? Why, yes, replied the southern gentleman. I sure appreciate what y'all done did for me. It was real sweet, real nice, and right neighborly. But where I come from in Alabama, we like our bourbon real cold, so I still need to trouble y'all for a piece of that ass from a drink.
Yeah, he said ass, yeah. Same thing.
You kind of got to think about that for a second. It actually was kind of funny. Yeah.
It was only funny because you actually kind of put a little bit of a
southern accent.
A little bit like a creepy southern accent on it.
Well, and actually, I sounded southern because usually when I do an accent like that, I usually sound Mexican.
I know. That would have been funny if you sounded Mexican.
I know, but I don't know why. But in Ohio, Anthony Spicer, that name sounds familiar, had a novel explanation for why he was in an abandoned school that also had his copper pipes cut out. Ghost. Spicer, 29, of Linwood, told police and the judge that he only went into Linwood School because he was looking for ghosts. When you were in there looking for ghosts, is that what you found? The pipe cutters? Helena County Common Pleas Court Judge Norbert Nadel asked him. It's supposed to be haunted, said Spicer. You don't expect me to believe that, do you? And the judge said. So he got caught in there cutting copper pipes out of the joint, and basically...
What a douche.
Yeah, there's a ghost. There's a ghost in their house.
Of course it was.
In that schoolhouse.
Of course it was.
Well, here you go. You want to do this one?
You know what? I could probably actually relate to this story, too.
You probably could.
I probably could relate to this story. It says 107 dogs rescued from 2 totally filthy trailers. I know people who live in filthy trailers.
This happened in Blueford, Illinois.
Well, it's close to it. Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the Animal Humane Society, caring for 107 dogs and 2 cats, after it helped authorities in northern Minnesota recover the animals of 2 properties where 2 women lived there in feces-littered trailers.
Feces?
Feces.
Don't that mean poop?
I think that means poop.
Poop. Poop-littered trailers.
There's crap all over the place.
Poop.
Poop all
everywhere.
Over the place. Poop, he says.
That's pretty shitty.
Yeah, it stinks, too. That's just awful.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was trying to read, and you just turned the screen away there.
My bad.
I don't even know where the hell we're at.
I thought you were pausing for dramatic effect.
I wasn't. Well, I kind of.
After poop-littered trailer.
Poop-littered trailer. The Humane Society said, let's see. The Humane Society's Kathy said.
Somewhere.
It has somewhere in there. This is just went to hell here.
I think that's Kathy Johnson.
Kathy Johnson said that the incident does not appear to be animal abuse. So it's not abuse. It just let them run around their shit all day. They truly love the dog, they said. But it just got out of hand. There was no way they can care for 107 dogs on their own. So, what they do, they rescue the dogs. Most of them were small breeds, such as pugs, chihuahuas, dachshunds, and spaniel mixes.
Well, the thing I don't understand, how can you now I can understand you can have a love of dogs, but how can you love 107 dogs?
Sure, why not?
It just, like, I don't know, do you love me or are you just happy to see me? Imagine that 107 times inside that house, that's all I gotta say. In Texas, Harris County officials want the owners of a downtown gas station to clean up their act and say they'll take them to court if they don't comply. The Harris County Attorney's Office filed a lawsuit this week saying Texaco convenience store in the 2100 block of Fannin is a breeding ground for crime. Houston police said Houston police were sent to the gas station across the street from the Greyhound bus depot almost 200 times since August.
I can believe it.
Although the business may be located in an area with significant police activity, that doesn't excuse the owners from taking the necessary steps to secure their own property. So what they're saying is, this gas station has been robbed 200 times since August, so that's the gas station's fault.
Yeah.
Because they're not taking enough act. Well, what are you supposed to do?
Maybe get rid of some of your crap out in the front. Or maybe get you a big Mexican guy with a shotgun.
I guess. Did you hear about Demi Morgan taking a drug overdose?
Well, I heard something about that on one of those TV shows I was watching.
Well, she's not dead, so let's move on.
Yeah.
Here's one here that you can do this one.
I don't know if I want to do this.
I'll do it. You want me to do it?
Go ahead and do this.
This happened, and this has happened to me before.
This
man, the story here, this guy here, he accidentally hit his wife with a hammer and set her on fire. Who amongst us hasn't had that happen?
How do you accidentally hit somebody in the head with a hammer?
Well, we're going to find out. A jury found Christopher Haney guilty of beating his wife with a hammer and setting her on fire.
Mr. Haney?
Yeah. I can't do the thing. I know John House does a good Mr. Haney impersonation.
He's funny.
Haney had claimed that his wife and another man had attacked him. Haney himself took the witness stand. He claimed that Mabry and an unknown masked man attacked him. He accidentally hit Mabry with a hammer while trying to fight back against the unknown man. Haney also claims he was tied up at gunpoint.
Right.
He said he accidentally set his wife on fire while trying to escape the ties.
So you accidentally poured kerosene on her and accidentally flicked the lighter and threw it on her?
I don't understand it. But apparently it was an accident. And who are we to argue about it? Because he looks like an honest guy to me.
Oh, yeah. You know, he definitely don't look like a crook.
Yeah, I think that's OJ.
Yeah.
Did you know, here's another little nutty fact. Did you know that in 1979 a woman jumped from the 86th floor of the Empire State Building only to be blown back into the 85th floor? Her only injury was a broken hip. I thought only old people get broken hips. Here's a story that kind of reminds me of a person I'm going to say his name, David. His alt name used to be Super Thumb. But a woman runs herself over with her own car. This happened in Stockholm, Sweden.
Sweden.
I can say Sweden because I sound like a Swedish person.
It's like a...
Alright, douchebag. One of the women's neighbors was woken up by desperate cries. Help! Help! Running outside on his balcony, he looked down in bewilderment to see a car on the lawn with a woman jammed underneath it. He quickly called emergency services, and rescue workers showed up shortly thereafter, using rescue airlifting bags to raise the car and dislodge the woman. Police theorized that the woman was having trouble getting the car started and got out of the vehicle to try to find out what's going on underneath the hood, and ended up underneath the car. I know a person who did that one time. They had a car that was on a U-Haul dolly, and instead of getting in the front and pushing it off, they got behind it and grabbed hold of the bumper and pulled, and the car ran them over.
What a douchebag.
How do you do that? How do you get run over by a parked car?
Why don't you ask...
Don't say it.
Yeah.
We can't say Dave's name. I mean, anyway.
Ask that guy. He can tell you, I'm sure.
Here's a story that I did this morning, and I'll do the whole thing now. After a night on the town, this is a joke. After a night on the town, a young woman brought a new friend home for a late night drink. You know what that means, don't you?
Yeah, I mean you're gonna try to get some.
Yeah, well, she says, You can't make any noise. My parents are upstairs, and if they find out, they'll kill us. Well, things started getting a little heated, if you know what I mean, on the sofa. And after a while, the alcohol got the better of the man. I have to go, he said. Well, you can't go upstairs. The bathroom's right next to my parents' bedroom. Use the kitchen sink. So he dutifully retired to the kitchen. A few minutes later, he popped his head around the door and said, Hey, do you have any toilet paper or shaved paper towel? If you don't get that joke, he shit in the kitchen sink. That is the joke. He shit in the kitchen sink. Yes, he did. That was funny. And
who here among us took a dump in the kitchen sink before?
Well,
some of us don't even dump in the sink.
Some of us dump in the library hallway.
That's a story for another night.
Yeah, so we only got like 3 minutes left to go, but we may have time for one more story. Let me look here and see. In Los Angeles, California, security was beefed up at the Samuel Gompers Middle School.
Gompers?
In South Los Angeles after two boys pulled out a knife and a gun during an argument in a 7th grade class. The boys began arguing when one of them pulled out a knife, prompting the other one to grab a backpack and take out a gun. So, here, bitch, look what I got. Well, both students were promptly apprehended. I wouldn't promptly apprehend them. I'd lock the door.
I'll be damn, he got a gun. I don't want to get messed around that.
Well, by campus security, along with a third student who was not in the classroom but brought the backpack with the gun. All three were turned over to the Los Angeles Police Department. Can you imagine that kid being pissed off? He brought his backpack to school with a gun, and the other kid took it, and now he lost his gat. All because this other kid didn't want to get stabbed with a knife or nothing.
I'd be mad as hell.
Well, be that as it may. And it probably never was. Well, we just got a couple minutes left to go, and apparently the foot traffic to the bathroom is getting kind of dangerous in here. So, with that being said, J-Dub, we'll catch you next Saturday night at 8 p.m. Central Time. And
10-4.
This has been the Rob's World Radio Show.
I'm going to jail.
That's all, folks.